morning everyone, and welcome to Art Weekly. After all these weeks of making videos, trying to think of what would be a good title, I finally thought Art Weekly might just fit the job. Fit the bill. Welcome to anyone new here. I'm Gaynor, and the aim of the channel is to share my art projects, my art challenges, anything relating to helping my creative flow. So if it helps me, I'm hoping it might help you. This week, the title, Sketchbook Dilemma. I had to look up the spelling. I wanted to make sure I'd got the correct spelling of dilemma. The definition is a difficult choice between two or more alternatives. Both are undesirable. So, I'm back from Seville. I'm back in the cabin. But what happened in Seville? A few of you lovely viewers wondered in the comments what might come from the trip, and here I am to share, show and tell. I dropped into Instagram an image. I worked on some daffodils, so I can't remember whether it was that one or that one, but I was working across 2 pages in Buddy's sketchbook, the A5 White. It's about 140 GSM, the paper in these, and I do really like them, but the problem came, the dilemma. I've got so much wet paint, I can't carry on, I can't access the rest of my sketchbook with all this wet paint, and the frustration drove me bonkers. What to do? It goes against every fibre of my being to tear or destruct a book. So I thought, well, if I tear one page, I told myself I could stick that back in and the book would be put back together. But I tore every single page from the Buddy book, just leaving those first few in there. Oh dear. The paint was sitting there and I wanted to get on. And what I wanted to get on with, we went to the garden, Real Alcazar. This is the Alcazar Palace. The beautiful palace in Seville and their gardens. And I was particularly, I'll put a picture in, but I was particularly taken with the large terracotta pots. So, terracotta pots and the joy of monoprinting. A really simple technique that I know I've talked about before. I know I've shown you before how I put you have to have a little bit of excess paint down in your sketchbook, and then you can take another sheet and pull a very simple monoprint. So I started playing with colours and pulling monoprints until I had I think there are about 30 odd sheets here, all over the apartment floor, and I have to say it's the best fun. It's addictive. Once you start, you really cannot stop. I couldn't stop. So what I'm going to do this morning, I'll put everything on the wall and see where I want to go with these terracotta, very basic prints. Here we go then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15, 35. So 35 simple monoprints up on my wall. Spanish jars, terracotta pots. I have an idea of wanting to make, not necessarily all of them, but a few of them more cohesive. And what I want to do is take some string, put that into paint and lay the paint through, say the blues, the teals, maybe one or two colours. I think on the browns I'd like to use some fluorescent colour, and on the brights I'll go dark, I'll go deep. That's my thinking, that's what I think I might like to do with them next. But I'm actually really happy just to see them all on the wall and not on the apartment floor. Do I regret deconstructing my buddy sketchbook? No, I don't. Once that first page came out, oh, it was horrible. But I just thought, come on, just keep going. And the thrill of actually manipulating the paint and pulling those pages apart was very satisfying indeed. How to go about it? I'll set the table up and... Okay, this is an old C-White A4 mix all media cartridge 140 GSM, and I've got a blue, so I just go in. I love to use the tubes as a pen. Some of this that starts to dry will be there, will be seen, because you're taking off this next coat of paint that will go down. So if I put down now some green, move it around, so let's just go with that. And see. So you can see that first application. If I go again, let me just... I'll just pull off again. And this time I'm pressing much more firmly. And that I really love that you get. Oh, I like that one too. That's lovely. So here, if you don't want these marks, you can, well, you can just play. You can just keep going. Just for the sheer joy of moving that paint. I might push that one back in. So it doesn't matter, don't panic about having too much paint, because you can just keep transferring. And at this point you might want to put in a few marks. Whatever you feel like at this stage. And you can... So another way of blending out the marks is just using your finger. Oh, look at this guy. So that's really super. I love that. So you get the gist of it. These might make, this copy paper might actually make covers for my notebook, which I didn't get time to do before we went to Spain, but I can easily do that So the more you lift off here, you can see the more you reveal that underlayer. What I want to experiment with is putting my, let's just have a go. We're not dry, but let's just put some black paint. I'm going to just randomly coat a bit of string in acrylic. And lay that in. Let's press that back down. Ooh la la! Oh, I like that very much. Very pleasing. That will make a nice little duo. I'll take photographs so that you can see better. I'm sure I've moaned about ring binders before, so I need to eat my words, because actually in this instance they're really useful, because you don't have to try and line your paper up, it's all in place. Having pulled one of my trolleys out of the way to work in that area, it's made me realise that's a good space to be able to get into. So I don't quite know how, because I've been back in the cabin 5 minutes and I need to have a blitz, but I thought I'd show you. Let me just put the camera on the stand. So I know that you've seen these guys before, weeks and weeks ago now. I'm really excited to come back to these chairs. I've got 3 paintings going into a general spring exhibition. It's non-stop at the moment. The weekend exhibition I did for Mother's Day, unfortunately the weather wasn't with us, and on the Sunday it just rained endlessly all day. However, I'm delighted to say that in Orange, my orange chair was the first painting to sell, and of mine. Carol Ann and I both sold, so that was absolutely lovely. This one's going in for the spring, one of my 3 entries for the spring exhibition. I've been slowly building on this painting, and I took it down for the Mother's Day pop-up exhibition, and it got nice comments. But seeing it hang in another space allows you sometimes to be a bit more subjective. And it just dawned on me, it needed a little bit of depth going on up here. So I've put in a bit more. So still lots going on. It's so good to be busy. I'm going to put on more new work for the web shop. That involves photographing. It's quite a lengthy old process, but I will get some more work up on the website. I don't know if you can see, if I move the easel, I don't know if it's possible to see this. The hyacinths have dropped some more, but they still look fantastic a week later, so they probably benefited from being out there. So I've come back, and in the house I can see so much that I don't care for on here now, having had some distance from it. I dropped in this sort of yellow-green, and that section I'm happier with. I think I'll block out the grey. Yeah, I think what I'll do is block out the grey. The chair proportion is just weird and off. It is big on the back and coming in too narrow. And I don't normally stress about trying to get perfection, but it's bothering me. So if it's bothering me, I want to try and do something about it. So I'll basically just, as you've seen Oh, so many times. The best thing to do, I don't want to take out these hyacinths. I'm quite happy with those, but I'm not quite sure. I think it might be something in the grey. So I'll take it out and we'll see if in fact it helps or not. I mean, instantly, I know some of you cringe when I go to the white, when I start blocking out, but instantly I'm happier. I think I got carried away with the grey. So having sold in orange, the lovely orange chair that I had barely got used to seeing, I'd only been in its frame for a short length of time, I will pick up a couple more frames. So I need to remind myself that I don't need to work right to the edge, because that black frame will allow me to trim down. Right, I'll get back and have a look. See, I want to focus on hyacinths. Oh, that's better. I feel better. I'll let that dry. I can't remember what I've got under here. A ground to work on. I think that was the third tulip. I don't know where. Well, yeah, I do, it's here. And I haven't touched, and I've purposely not touched that yet. I think what I'd like to do, well, I think what I am going to do, I'm going to get fully organised. I am going to get fully organised now with work in the cabin. I really need to give it a thorough clean and get things out that I haven't seen for a while and get a bit more organised. And I'm going to move between. I'll reduce my table area, and I'm going to keep a trolley. I'm going to keep one trolley. Luckily I've got two. I'll keep one trolley down here for some supplies, and I've got the other one in the cabin. So I think the answer is to have enough paint in the house to work on the easel, and the bulk of my material obviously will always be in the cabin. But I like the idea of working in between. When I go to the cabin, I just lose time. But in the house, if I've just got 10 minutes here or 5 minutes there, I can be working, and I do like to be working. Whatever you're up to this week, guys, I hope it's really good. Have a go at doing some of those simple monoprints. I'm not saying dash and pull your sketchbook to pieces, but I think that was a case of needs must. So Sketchbook Dilemma turned out to be no bad thing. Have a wonderful week. I'll leave you with a few more scenes, images from Seville. Wonderful place. If you get the opportunity to go there, I'd really highly recommend it. Come on, Gaynor, try and do a slow video. Try not to rush it. It's absolutely glorious here. This was all built in the 1930s, late 1920s. This beautiful, beautiful park and an exhibition space. Look, I've sped up.